And we are back in the house. I don't know if this has worked this time. Let me know if you have joined and if you can hear me loud and clear. There we go. Now it's working. Holly's here, Girly Whirly's here, Sophie's here. I started a scope a minute ago, guys, and it didn't work. Well, it kind of looked like it was working, but then I couldn't join it myself from a different device, so it looked like it wasn't broadcasting or something. People are now giving me comments and saying good evening, so it is now working. Thank you so much for joining me. It was weird, the camera kept going off and it kept going black, but now it looks pretty stable. Do let me know throughout this. David Bresnahan is here. Let me know throughout this scope, if you're getting any interference. Sometimes Periscope can be a right pain in the backside when its servers are being a bit flaky. Miss Gypsy, good evening. David, hello. For those who are watching this for the first time and they've stumbled across this by accident, or if you're watching this on Twitter or something like that, hello, good evening. My name is Ross. Let's see how long my connection lasts, says David. Gary is here as well. I scope twice a week. I'm an actor, I'm a voiceover artist from Manchester in the UK. And I scope twice a week. Lucy's here as well. Lucy, good evening. And I scope once on a Monday night, which is tonight, and we do something called Motivation and Mind Hacks, which is hopefully going to motivate you and help you to hack your mind to get further in your career or your life faster. I'm an actor, so a lot of the stuff I talk about relates to the acting industry, but it's generally very much universal and applies to everybody, no matter what walk of life you are in or you're going through, whatever career you do. And then on a Wednesday we do a book club where I take one personal development book, or it likes personal development, personal change, something that's going to have a very positive influence on your life, and we break it down. I do 4 chapters over the space of a month, 1 or 2 chapters a week actually, and we do it on a Wednesday night, and you should join that. This week we're looking at, by request, Thanis Soro 2494 is here. Look at an awesome book called Hardcore Self-Help, Fuck Anxiety. Excuse my French, but it's actually part of the title. Fanny, good evening. She's here as well, by an awesome guy called Robert Duff, PhD. There's a lot about positive psychology and the science behind psychology, but he explains it in a very, very, very simple way. And that was because we started looking at this because a lot of people, particularly this is relevant with it being, I think it's like, was it World Mental Health Awareness Week or Day yesterday or something like that? I saw a lot of it on Facebook. A lot of people were saying they were struggling with anxiety in general. And Fanny says he does free podcasts on YouTube for that book and author. So yeah, so check Robert Duff out on YouTube. Oh, it's today. World Mental Health Day is today. Wow, amazing. Well, I'm going to hopefully give you some motivation and mind hacks tonight that's going to help promote positive mental health. Today, World Mental Health Day. Amazing. I knew I'd seen it popping up on my feed, but I thought it was yesterday for some reason. Well, thank you. Well, this is quite apt then, isn't it? Today, guys, I want to talk about something that I talk about a lot. We've kind of covered before, but I just want to, as I, remember last week, and I always say, common sense isn't often common practice. I just want to remind everybody tonight of something that they should consciously be doing in their lives that will absolutely benefit them quicker than probably anything else that you can kind of do when it comes to your career, your mindset, your state of being, and ultimately your mental health, and that is the people that you surround yourself with. I went down to London on Friday, and I had the absolute privilege of interviewing one of the best directors we've currently got in this country in TV. Isn't it you who reminded us that you are the medium of the 5 friends you associate with? So yeah, absolutely, Fanny. So you are the average. So someone called Jim Rohn coined that phrase. He was an amazing thought leader, and he said, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And by that, he meant you're the average in terms of earnings, you are the average state of being, generally the average physical appearance. Every part of your life, you will be the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I went down to London on Friday. I interviewed a guy called Lewis Arnold, who has just finished on Broadchurch. So if you're not in the UK, Miss Gypsy, I know you're in America, we have a massive show over here called Broadchurch. It's on season 3, just going into season 3. Probably the biggest drama that we have, apart from Downton Abbey. I'm sure you'll know what Downton Abbey is. And he's just wrapped on directing the 3rd series of it. So he showed me a little bit of that. It looked absolutely amazing. It stars David Tennant and Olivia Colman, and we recorded a podcast together for about 1 hour and 45 minutes of what he has done to achieve the success that he has achieved. He's only 31 years old, and he's directing the biggest TV in the UK. Okay, pretty phenomenal achievement. Now, whilst I was sat in that recording studio, well, makeshift recording studio, I took all the kit down and we just basically hijacked an edit suite, and I just set it all up, and we were there. numerous people came in and interrupted by accident, so they would just knock on the door, walk in as if nothing was happening, and they were like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, you know, to interrupt. And every time they'd leave, Lewis would say to me like, oh, that's the executive producer of Channel 4's Humans, another massive show we have over here. Oh, that's Chris Chibnall, the writer of Broadchurch. All these ridiculously amazing people, okay, who I was very grateful to be able to surround myself with for that day. And I came away on Friday feeling so ridiculously inspired and motivated to, you know, to want to work with these guys. I'd spent the day in their company, and it had a massive effect on my state of being. And yet again, it was hammered home to me, and by Lewis in the interview, when I was asking him about his success, of how he's done it. And he was all about mentors, surrounding yourself with people who have what you want, people who are experiencing more success than you. You know, the old adage of, if you are the smartest person in the room, or the most successful person in the room, you are in the wrong room, okay? And it's something that I am massively passionate about, always try and go out of my way to seek out people experiencing. Scooby, good evening. Patrick, I saw join as well, good evening. To seek out people experiencing more success than me. And it's not just generally more success. There's 4 types of people, I think, that you need in your life and you need to be surrounding yourself with. And I want to go through tonight, got the little sheets out, 4 types of people to surround yourself with for success, okay? And I want you to kind of think about the 5 people, you know, you and 4 others, or you and 5 others, you know, who you currently surround yourself with the most, the people you are spending the most time with. It will probably be, depending on where you are in your life, maybe your parents, your spouse, your siblings, your workmates, whatever that is. Lewis is lovely, says Lucy. I did the workshop with him, a top director. He's a super, super nice guy. And, you know, he's dead young. So he's dead, you know, he just relates to us as people, you know, working towards something in the industry, because although he's still having massive success, he's like, I want to be directing Marvel movies, you know, and stuff like that. He still sees himself having a way to go. So he's on the kind of journey that we are, and he's still actively pursuing other people in the industry who can help him get further, because ultimately you have 2 options in your career. You can spend 40 years struggling, or you can seek out those people who have already got what you want and ask them how they did it, or you can read their book and absorb 40 years worth of life experience in one weekend by reading their book. Trust me, read the king book, because you will save yourself lifetimes of wasted time and wasted energy. You could, you know, you can just laser focus in on what's made these other people have success, reverse engineer that and go, right, what do I need to do? And a massive part of that for me and for everyone I speak to who's having success is finding the right people. And I think there are 4 types of people you need to be seeking out in your life. There's a path of least resistance to success. Yeah, there is, Gary. And if you don't know, because we don't always know what that path is, someone else who's had that success will know, because they've probably tried many different ways that haven't worked. And it's not that every way that's worked for someone else will always work for you, but they can definitely steer you in the right direction. If somebody wanted to set up a website community, for instance, through me running Act On This, and if you're an actor watching this, you're not part of the community, go to actonthis.tv, come and join our Facebook group as well, facebook.com/groups/actonthisTV. I could save people, honestly, the 5 years it's taken me to establish Act On This as a community. I could sit down with somebody in a day and go, right, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, do this, 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 and this. And they could set themselves up a community way, 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 way faster than the 5 years it's taken me to establish Act On This. So if you go after those who are experiencing what you want and just ask them how they did it, chances are you're going to save yourself a shitload of time. Now, these 4 types of people, I'm going to go through them now. I just want you to think whether you have those people in your life now. And you might have one of each of these types of people in your life, and that's great. And if you have, go and try and find some more. If you don't have any, or you're missing 1 or 2 of these 4 types of people, go out this week and actively seek these types of people to be around, because honestly, there's nothing more powerful than sitting down and you know, effectively just chewing the fat, talking to somebody who's experiencing what you want. Trust me, if anything, it's just going to inspire you to work harder. Now, the first type of person I think you need to be pursuing and finding in your life. And this isn't just in your acting career, guys. This is in everything. So this is in your health, your relationships, your physicality, your spirituality, emotional mastery, businesses that aren't acting, everything, okay? And the number one person, you need to surround yourself with relentless workers, okay? You probably know somebody who is a relentless worker, or perhaps you are one yourself, okay? These types of workers push us to work harder each and every day. Now this is important, okay? While measuring personal success against the success of another is like comparing apples and oranges, it really is. Don't compare your success with someone else's success. Success will mean something different to you, and you can't measure it against somebody else. It's just a biased correlation, okay? What you can do, and we can measure our drive with the drive of other relentless workers. Okay, the passion and commitment will breed a successful career. Okay, so what you can do is you can go, okay, am I surrounding myself with other people who are relentless in their pursuit for what they want? It doesn't have to be the same thing as you. There doesn't have to be other actors after something in the acting industry. This could be somebody who bakes cakes and wants to get them in every Starbucks in the country, or, you know, wants to get their app to #1 on the iTunes App Store or something like that. It doesn't have to be acting. But when you surround yourself with multiple people who are these prolific people, so prolific, I think that term gets bantered around in the wrong context. Prolific means you are churning out content constantly. That's what prolific is. So a prolific writer is constantly creating new work. Prolific actor is always creating new acting work, whether they're doing it themselves or they're being employed by somebody else to do it. So if you can be prolific in the way that you approach your work and surround yourself with other people who are relentless, it's going to spur you on and inspire you to work harder as well. Okay, so the first type, yeah, relentless workers. And as I say, don't compare your success to theirs. It's like comparing, like it says, apples and oranges. But compare your drive to the drive of other people and say, am I getting up in the morning, heaven forbid, right, tomorrow was your last day on earth, could you look in the mirror and say to yourself, you know what, I am leaving this earth with nothing left in the tank. I gave it everything that I had in my career, in my health, in my relationships, or whatever it is you're focusing on right now. You can't focus on everything all at once, okay? But generally, as I say, every part of your life affects every part of your life. So if you're winning in one area, chances are all areas are going to be on the rise. So let me know now, do you have, give me an example, do you have relentless workers in your circle of 5? Give me some yeses, some nos, or give me a I am a relentless worker. If you are that relentless worker and you do it for other people, then that's great, but find someone who can inspire you as well. Fanny says none, so you don't have any relentless workers in your circle of 5. But that's brilliant to acknowledge, isn't it? Because you're already having a lot of success, Fanny, and you're doing a lot of good stuff. Imagine how you could expedite more of your success by bringing these people into your lives. And sometimes it's difficult. I am one, says Gary. Well, there you go. Bring Gary into your circle of 5, Fanny. You've got one. Yes, says Miss Gypsy. We will have a lot in the Act on This Facebook group, you know, definitely. And I don't know how we could do this logistically, but I'd quite like to set people up with accountability partners, accountability buddies in the Facebook group. Working on it, says Miss Gypsy. It's, you know, it is just, sometimes, you know what, you don't have to know these people. So I follow a few people online in business and a few other areas, and I listen to their podcasts, and it's almost like I know them because I listen weekly to their podcasts. And sometimes it's just enough to be surrounded by those people, you know, virtually in my ears when I'm listening to podcasts. That's enough to spur me on sometimes. Doing it with Courtney and Tony, says Miss Gypsy. Awesome. Yeah, well, Tony Rossi. Don't know Courtney, Miss Gypsy, but Tony Rossi is he's just a very positive influence, isn't he? I don't know if he's on the scope tonight, but yeah, Tony Rossi puts a lot of good vibes out into the world. You know, he's quite prolific in terms of the contribution he makes. But just have a think, and it's not saying like, oh my god, I don't have any of these people, I've got to go and grab one tomorrow. But write down the people who you are missing in your life right now. This is what I have to do, Ross. Use podcasts or YouTube to surround myself with inspiration. And that's brilliant, Fanny. It's absolutely brilliant. It's because it's accessible and it's instant. So it's not bad. That's a really positive thing. I think for me sometimes, personally, I have struggled when it comes to business. So Courtney's a life coach, as Miss Gypsy, I think. Yeah, I've struggled sometimes to find people in my area. Okay, Courtney Rue. Okay. Yeah, I've struggled to find people in my area where I live who follow the same principles and have the same kind of mission as me and the same kind of beliefs and the same kind of values. So sometimes you do have to reach out online, and sometimes, you know, I've got a lot of mentors in the States who I've either met once when I went over to America last year, or I have never met. I've just spoke to on Skype or on online conferences and stuff like that. And that's all right. That's absolutely fine. But I think sometimes, you know, it's nice to sit down with somebody. I sat down with an actor called Lee Boardman last week. Awesome guy, super inspirational, massive heart, and there's something about that one-to-one contact you have with somebody that's a bit special when it's in person as opposed to online. I want something online. Are you an online coach? I think you said, Fanny. I missed your comment. But yeah, there's a lot of people out there online who are doing great work, who you can follow very often for free. You know, so they might be the relentless worker in your life. But if you can find someone in real life, particularly, where you can meet up once a week, you know, a fellow actor or whatever you do, a fellow writer, or, you know, whatever industry you're in, and you can be inspired by each other's successes, you walk away feeling charged, as opposed to, in a lot of cases, when you don't have these people in your lives, you walk away feeling drained from a coffee with some people, when they're the battery drainers in your life. And we need to be surrounded by battery chargers. Second type of person. Now this should hopefully be a bit easier to find. I hope most people can say yes to this, because it's quite a general type of person. You know, this is something that I think all of us are on these scopes, and that's simple. Just positive attitudes. Very simple, not that hard to find a lot of the time, I don't think. You won't find as many as you will find negative attitude people out there, but you should be able to find some of these. People tend to be better at what they're doing if they're happy, okay guys? Negative attitudes can drag down work ethic, and they don't offer any inspiration for success or innovation. Surrounding yourself with negative people can bog down your creativity and drive, and it could ultimately be the downfall of your acting career. So if you don't feel inspired and driven in the acting industry, you're gonna fall behind pretty quick. People with positive attitudes can actually have the opposite effect, facilitating your leap towards success more effectively. Bringing happy people on your journey will keep morale high and will keep you all looking forward. So that's, you know, that's kind of a, you know, everybody in that group, if your group is happy, everyone's going to drive forward. And if one person's flagging behind, then the rest of you can lift that person back up and get them out of the shit. But ultimately, yeah, it's just positive attitudes, very general type of person you want to have in your group of 5. So for now, we've got the relentless workers and we've got the positive attitudes. The positive attitude should just be everybody within that group. You know, as much as we will have days where we don't feel super positive, but hopefully, you know, you'll be self-aware enough of when you're not feeling super positive to go, wait a minute, you need to give yourself a bit of a kick here. You need to realise, again, like I said last week, that you're a human being born on this planet. You've already won the lottery. You've already won the biggest lottery in the universe. You were born the most advanced species known to man in this universe, on Earth. If you're in America or the UK, you're in a peaceful country that isn't being bombed the shit out of. If Donald Trump gets in, God knows what's going to happen. Miss Gypsy, I do not envy you and Tony Rossi over there in the States dealing with that absolute idiot. I mean, can you believe that? How many millions of people are in America? And he's one of the best 2 you've got to be president. Guys, it's bad, isn't it? It's really bad. I feel bad for you guys, because I know that is not a representation of Tony or Miss Gypsy. Seriously, he has to go. He has to go. But yeah, you know, realise you have already won the biggest lottery on earth. If you're not getting up in the morning excited about life, something needs to be addressed, because you have won the fucking biggest lottery ever if you can appreciate that. Lesser of two evils, says Miss Gypsy. Yeah, exactly. I don't think Hillary's squeaky clean either. Absolutely. But yeah, you know, just think about that, and the days where you're going, you know what, you've been a bit negative now, you know what it's like to feel negative. You've done it thousands and thousands and thousands of times. It's boring. We all know what it's like to feel like shit. Consciously go, you know what, I'm not going to feel like shit today, because I know what that feeling is like. I know it only too well, because most of us spend 90% of our time with that feeling and 10% of the time feeling good. Try and flip it so you're spending more time being positive, and you'll get that flip if you surround yourself with other positive attitudes. So that's person number 2. Okay, have you got any of them in your life? Give me some examples of that. Give me a yes, give me a no. If in your circle of 5 who you spend the most time with, because you're the average of those 5, do you have positive attitudes in your circle of 5? Let me know. Give me some hearts if you do, or say yes, or tell me who the positive attitudes are. Give them some names if you can. Embarrassingly, she types, oh, embarrassingly, she types no, not personally. Yep, says Gary. So Fanny, okay, well, this is great. Okay, so you're realising a lot of stuff tonight, which is super valuable. This is like breakthrough moment for you. You're realising that you don't have 2 integral types of people in your life: relentless workers and positive attitudes. Okay, so this is great. This is something that you can absolutely start taking action on this week. It's brilliant. Join some mastermind groups, seek out some Facebook groups. If you're interested in other stuff that isn't acting, you know, you got a hobby, find a hobby group somewhere in your local area where you might be able to go once a week, learn the guitar, have a singing lesson, whatever it is. Okay, this is brilliant, because you're going to expand your horizons. Okay, if you don't have these people in your life, you need to go and find them. Number 3, very, very important. You need to surround yourself by people who ask questions, okay? Because you can't always see the wood for the trees yourself. I can't anyway. Albert Einstein once said, the important thing is to not stop asking questions, okay? As actors, we should constantly be asking questions about ourselves and our careers. You know what? Not as actors, just as I should have written as human beings, okay? However, no single person can think of every important question. You just can't. That's always only ever been me out of my friends. Okay, Fanny, so this is you then. This is good. People who ask questions may provide a different angle on an issue or an idea, and these questions could ultimately lead to important breakthroughs for you and your career. Perspective is everything. So sometimes I've been like banging my head against a brick wall going, I don't get it, I'm doing everything, why is this not working, why am I not having success in that, or why is nobody engaging with this content I'm putting out online, I don't understand. And sometimes my personal problem is this: I'm very academic, right? So I'm capable when it comes to academic tasks, writing, coding, mathematics, figuring stuff out, problem solving. For me, one thing I mean seriously guys, one thing I struggle with, like I'm just terrible at sometimes, is common sense. In terms of, I will get, Miss Gypsy says, look at you. I am blessed like that. I'm lucky I had a very good education. You're the antithesis of me then, Ross, she says. But my common sense, Fanny and Miss Gypsy, is ridiculous. So I once, not long ago, bought a granola from, I think it's either Starbucks or Pret a Manger over here in the UK, don't know if you have that in America, and I got a little pot of granola and a big pot of yogurt. I don't know why, but I started to try and pour the big pot of yogurt over the granola in the little pot. My mate was like, Ross, what the hell are you doing? The little pot goes into the big pot, you dickhead. I was like, oh my god, how did I not realise that? That's just being a man, isn't it? Says Fanny. It might be, but those kind of things happen too often, I think, Fanny, for me to just be able to pass it off as being a bloke. It's just like sometimes my logical thinking doesn't work particularly well. So sometimes I will not understand why something isn't working, and then somebody will come along and go, oh, have you done that? And it'll be the simplest thing, and I've gone, oh my goodness, why couldn't I see that? But I couldn't ask myself that question. Okay, I couldn't see it. I didn't know the right question to ask. So if we surround ourselves by other people who ask quality questions, you will receive quality answers. It's the same when you're asking yourself questions as well. Make sure you always ask yourselves quality questions. We did this on a scope not long ago. Don't get up in the morning and ask yourself a shit quality question like, when will I ever have success? Why is nothing working for me? Why can't I look like that? Why can't I have that talent? All those disempowering questions. Ask yourself questions like, how can I make an impact today? What good is there in the situation that I cannot currently see? You know, how can I move forward faster? What can I do today that makes everything else easier or unnecessary? Positive, powerful questions, all right? And if you can surround yourself by other people asking positive, powerful questions, it's only going to expedite all of your success as well. So that's number 3. So Fanny, you said you are that. You are the person who asks the questions. Anybody else? Gary, Miss Gypsy, everyone else watching, let me know. Who do you have in your life? Who are the people who ask, you know, instead of asking why, they ask why not? Pretty cliche, isn't it, and cheesy, but that's true. The people who, you know, whereas you're like going, oh, well, you know, why should I do that, or will I ever do that? They're the people who actually, well, why not do that? Why shouldn't you do that? Why couldn't you do that? Zoe, good evening. Great to see you here. Oops, battery low, may lose connection, says Scoops. Hopefully get yourself plugged in, Scoops. Script editors. So for Gary, script editors ask questions. Brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. Imagine your line of work. That's super, super important, because as a writer, you're going to become emotionally attached to the script. And sometimes what you think, when I've been writing, sometimes I think things are straightforward and people understand them, and people who read it go, I don't understand this bit. Asking yourself quality questions is a different ball game, says Fanny. Hello Zoe, welcome, says the hipster. Yeah, it is. Asking yourself positive questions is just so important in life. My 5-year-old daughter asks a lot of questions. Yeah, do you know what? Kids are brilliant though sometimes, because they're not affected by all the shit that us adults are. So they will just ask outright, blunt, honest questions. Honesty is something that kids can bring to our lives that sometimes we shy away from because we are scared of asking an honest question. So yeah, I think it's important, if you've got children, to include them in, you know, some day-to-day kind of elements of your life, problem solvings. You know, what do you think I should do? Because kids will give you a super honest answer. You know, do you think this song's any good? No, it's rubbish. Oh, okay, brilliant. You know, they just give you super, super honest feedback. Do you like this show reel scene? No, I don't like that. You're like, all right, thanks for that, but you know, at least I know they're not just placating me, making me feel better. Tell me the truth. Definitely. I'm like that with my nephew when he was much younger. Archie, do you like this t-shirt? No, doesn't suit you, that, Uncle Ross. Brilliant. Thanks. Excellent. Taking advice from my 5-year-old nephew on fashion. So yeah, point number 3, people who ask questions. I love having conversation with my daughter. She's so honest. Honestly, Lucy, it's brilliant, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant. I don't have a girlfriend, never mind a wife and kids, but yeah, that's something that I love. I love talking to like younger kids before they've been affected. Also, because when they ever ask me a question I can't answer, I can just say magic. Uncle Ross, why does this happen? And I don't know. I'm like, magic, innit? Just magic. Oh right, okay. And they just accept that. Got to the point where my brother's now ex-wife used to just say to his son, "Don't listen to anything Uncle Ross says. Don't believe anything Uncle Ross says." So now he just constantly questions everything that I say, even if it is completely the truth. So maybe not a great habit to teach kids, but they're fun, aren't they? Very honest. So that was number 3, people who ask questions. The 4th type and the last type of person you should be seeking out in your life, hopefully you are one. I think everyone in this scope is one. But the more of this type of person you can bring into your life, the better. And that is the dreamers. Okay? Some non-actor types will consider all actors as dreamers. Okay, Miss Gypsy says, I have to say all kids in general, especially special ed children. Oh, for honesty, yeah, absolutely. However, we understand that as actors, you know, that setting goals and working hard will help us achieve what many consider to be unachievable. Okay, to keep this drive going, We should always be surrounding ourselves with people who have similar goals in mind. These dreamers don't even need to be involved in the same industry as us. The important thing is that you keep close, people with big plans for themselves. So they can be from any walk of life. Seeing other people's drive will keep you hungry to reach your goals. So the more people who dream big, and that's cliche as well, but it's a cliche for a reason. They don't just think small all the time. You know, the people who really make an impact on this world in everything that they do always think big, like they can go right to the top. I'm a big dreamer and doer, says Miss Gypsy. Awesome. And the more people you can bring into your circle who are the same ilk, the better. I'm the epitome of the dreamer. For what else do we have but our dreams? Well, not a lot, Fanny. A lot of non-dreamers would say bills, problems, fires to put out, poverty, all these excuses for why they're not dreaming big. But yeah, you know, ultimately you do only have your dreams to chase and to fulfill whilst you're here, and you don't want to go on to whatever's next without at least having, you know, given it your all. And like I said before, saying, you know what, when it came to that, whether I got all the way or not, I'm leaving this place with my tank empty. I gave it everything. I try and leave the gym every morning with my tank empty. Go, you know, could I have got one more repetition out on that chest exercise? No, I went to failure. And I celebrate in the gym failing because I'm like, I know I've done enough work. Nil impossible. Nil impossible eat, as a Latin would say. Est. Oh, Fanny, you get your old Latin on me. I haven't got a clue. I don't speak Latin. Carpe diem. Seize the day in that Latin. But yeah, you know, dreamers are important because they're the ones who are going to, you know, inspire you to keep going until your tank's empty and not quit with the tank half full. Leaving missing in my tank is bone dry. Going to Chicago, maybe instead of California. Leaving something. Oh, leaving Michigan. Oh, right. Okay, so you're leaving where you are. Oh, amazing. So if you think you've fulfilled everything you can in that area, Miss Gypsy, get yourself off to pastures new. Absolutely brave. You know what? Round of applause. If you're going somewhere you've never been before, 'cause that's brave, okay? That's brave. Beyond, says Miss Gypsy. Yeah, that's awesome. You know, it's really good. Let us know where you go and what you're chasing. That's really cool. So yeah, ultimately, let's recap. They're the 4 types of people you need in your circle. So remember, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you don't know who they are, write them down on paper. Go, actually, you know what, I spend time with that person, this person, and it might not be after 2 or 3 people you spend time particularly with any other, you know, 1 or 2 types of people, but just have a think of the type you do cross with regularly. And so you need to be starting to seek out, if you don't already have these in your circle. What if you spend time with no one? Well, you've got, you know what, Fanny, you've got, if that's the case, fucking hell, the acting industry can be a lonely, you know what, success, the road to success can be such a lonely place, because the people who aren't really striving for it, you know, it's easier for them to go down the pub and just surround themselves with the people who are addicted to average. You know what, it's dead easy. I know I can go and find people, a bit like Cheers, you know, I want to go where people know, everyone knows your name, all that. I can't remember the song for Cheers, but I love that song. I want to go where everybody knows your name, that one, innit, for Cheers. And you just walk in, everyone knows your name because you go in there all the time, because it's like pressing the easy button. It's like going, I've got this button here when I can't be bothered chasing my dreams. I'm going to press the easy button, we can go down the pub, sit against the bar, and I'm going to meet loads of people in the same boat as me. We're all going to whinge like shit to each other to make ourselves feel better about none of us experiencing really what we want out of life. So let's just have another pint, you know, and let's just drink our sorrows away. Whereas when you're striving for something, because you're in the minority, it is harder to find these people to surround yourself with. So you've got to work harder at that, going out to find these people. So if you try to do it all on your own, Fanny, you're going to fail, because it's just fucking lonely. It's going to be unfulfilling. You know, the struggle is hard enough. Doing it on your own just makes it harder. And that's why it's nice sometimes to celebrate other people's success, particularly if you make them your close friends, because sometimes you feel that their success is yours, because it should be. If they hit that next echelon of success, they should be looking out to take you with them. If you don't know anybody, you're missing out on that opportunity, because I know I've got such good friends in this industry that if they do get an opportunity to employ me, they will. If I hadn't gone out of my way to find those and make those connections, I'm not giving myself that opportunity for employment. It's all or nothing on me. Whereas I can spread my risk effectively through other people who I know are great people who are going to make it. And I'm like, awesome, let's go. We always have a joke, me and Chris Stone, going, Chris, when you're directing massive TV, I'm in, son. He's like, no, of course. Because it would be the same for me. If I got in a position where I could give him a job, or I could give any of you guys a job, I'd do it, because you've invested in me, I've invested in you. You know, we're all kind of, you know, part of the same group. That's how it should be. But doing it on your own is so hard. It really is hard. It's just lonely. It's no fun. It's just not very good fun at all. So seek out these 4 people to recap. If you just joined us now, you want dreamers in your life. You should be a dreamer. But surround yourself with people who dream bigger than most. 3, people who ask quality questions, okay? Because you might not always be able to see the answers for yourself. The more people around you asking questions, the more perspective you're going to get on the problem. 2, people with positive attitudes. These should be the easiest types of people to find. If you don't have any of these, you need to get people like this quickly. This is probably, you know, the most general of these 4. And you should find these in any coffee shop, probably in the land. If you can't find any, go and strike up a conversation with a couple of people working on a laptop in a coffee shop. They're generally pretty positive people, in my experience. And 1, relentless workers. You've got to surround yourself and be a relentless worker. You're going to inspire each other to not drop the ball, to not throw in the towel, or whatever other phrase you want to use. But be a relentless worker and find other relentless workers, not even necessarily in real life. If you're inspired by someone, like Fanny said before and I was saying on the internet, seek out those people, listen to their podcasts, you know, look for motivation, look for inspiration, you know, watch a bloody motivational video on YouTube or a speech by somebody on YouTube. You know, seek those people out if you're struggling to find them in real life. You're one of them, Ross. Cheers, Fanny. Boom. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I got a lovely email of somebody yesterday actually saying they were watching the replays of these Periscopes and what a difference they've made to their life. Never heard of her in my life. At Fanny, it's my reason to move to Chicago to possibly re-engage my acting career / illustration. Brilliant, Miss Gypsy. So I want to end on this, guys. It's from a proverb. I don't know who said this. I think it's just a proverb. You know, you get these old proverbs that no one knows who said it. But it's very simple. Read it. If you lie down with dogs, you will get up with fleas. Alright? If you lie down with dogs, you will get up with fleas. So effectively, if you're lying down with 5 dogs with fleas right now, as in the 5 people you're spending the most time with, you're going to become the 6th dog with fleas. And that ain't good, is it? You know, you don't want that. My cat had fleas once, nearly sent him crazy. So true, I have 2 of them, said this Gypsy. She has some actual dogs. But I love dogs, but yeah, I mean metaphorically speaking, if you lie down with, you know, lousy people, effectively, you will become the 6th of those 5. You know, if you surround yourself with 5 whinging actors who aren't having any success, who are broke, who are complaining, who are negative, who are battery drainers, you will be the 6th person who's a battery drainer, a whinging, broke actor. Okay, which if she says I'm serious, maybe a dogs have got fleas. Right, so I'm not even a dog then. No, you're not, Fanny. You're an amazing human being. You realise that. Who lives inside one of these, not an arm, but an incredible piece of equipment that someone has cared enough about you to give you one of these in here, not a peck, but a heart that beats. And as long as it's beating, you're alive. Okay, you've been given. Someone has loved you enough to give you a beating heart. Blows my mind every time I think about it. It's a miracle of engineering. Beats 100,000 times a day. Keeps you alive. Your body goes through 10 billion chemical reactions every single day to keep you alive. Incredible. Surround yourself with other people who who use these things positively. I survived a heart attack, no damage, says Miss Gypsy. Wow, amazing. Well, Miss Gypsy, crikey, God, you know how precious this is. My dad died of a heart attack. He wasn't given a second chance, unfortunately. Just one, overnight, boom, gone. Unknown date, I don't even know when I had it, says Miss Gypsy. But yeah, it's that awareness you get when you have a scare like that. And like I said, unfortunately, my dad never got a chance to readjust, maybe his lifestyle choices or whatever that caused that. I think it was hereditary, a lot of it. Thankfully, I've been checked out and my heart's all right. But yeah, when you get that awareness of like, oh my God, it could be over. Trust me, all the shit you're worrying about now won't matter. You'll just be like, I've been such an idiot worrying about all this bullshit all these years. The minute that it looks like you're a goner. How old were you when it passed? I was 24, so it was 10 years ago this year. And yeah, absolutely, without a doubt, one of the worst days of my life. But it was something that I could absolutely explain. And you know what I'm like, I need science and I need reason. So you get the death certificate and the report, the coroner's report, and I go, okay, cardio infarction, that's a blockage of one of the arteries in the heart, cuts off blood supply, part of the heart dies, done. I can explain that. There's been certain other dark days in my life, sometimes that I've struggled to explain. It wasn't black and white, and they've been the parts of my life that have been kind of harder to deal with, where the mindset and the positive psychology really comes in, and reframing and looking at the gifts, and like I said before, asking yourself the questions, what good is there here that I currently cannot see? And they're the parts that we grow through and become much stronger human beings. The passing of my dad was the most shocking, biggest shock to the system ever, but I could understand it to a certain extent, and I could also then see the gifts within that. Rather than go, oh, poor me, woe me, life happens to me, not for me, So I was here at Ross's Miss Gypsy. No, for me, Miss Gypsy, like I said, the gifts that you look at, you go, okay, well, rather than saying, oh, my dad was taken early, only 24, I look at it now and I'm like, you know what, I spent 24 amazing years with this guy who taught me an awful lot about life, an awful lot about how to be, how to stand up for myself. My dad was a very proud, big Scottish guy, stood for no shit, pretty scary to be honest. Proper taught me how to stand up for myself at school, on the football pitch. Used to give me lifts here, there and everywhere because I can't drive because of the eye condition that I've got. Would give me a lot of life advice on how to be, but also, let's be honest, not everyone has their best days. I saw a lot of the times I was like, you know what, I'm learning from your behaviour of how I don't want to be in some areas of my life. I might be in lifestyle and health and all that kind of stuff. And it's powerful when you take control of that situation and you go, actually, what are the gifts here? Let's not label this as a tragedy. In the grand scheme of things, you got to 60 years old, which isn't a long life, but it's not like a little kiddie getting leukemia at 3, is it? And dying. And one thing that I really respected about my dad was he was the biggest relentless worker. So that first type of person that I say you need to surround yourself with. There's one guy who was utterly relentless through thick and thin. It was that guy, and I was so proud of his work ethic to go, that's my old man, because he would my mum and dad's business went almost bust when I was a kid. Literally really dodgy time in our lives. We were seriously broke, and he ended up taking on 2 jobs. He worked in a shitty factory through the day, came home, I don't know how he did it and didn't kill himself, and then he would work as a security guard overnight. I don't know how much sleep he was getting, but it was like nothing, a couple of hours, and he was working for something pitiful, like £3 an hour or less than that. I think my brother still got one of his wage slips. My brother, my brother's very successful, but he keeps his wage slip in his wallet to remind him of what my dad used to have to work for. So to keep him grounded, I guess. My brother earns stupid money sometimes. He's not an actor. But yeah, for me, he was like this relentless worker. Massive respect for him. So I look at that as a gift. Well, what did he bring to my life, as opposed to, oh, poor me, he's not in my life anymore, oh, I'm such a victim. Bullshit. He'd be like the first person to give me a slap if I had that mentality. So yeah, sometimes when you get that awareness though, that for me was a big kickstart to go, Ross, you need to start actually kind of like doing what you want to do with your life, because one day that could be you, and it could, you know, it could be too late, it could be over. You know, it's we don't get that awareness very often. I've had it a couple of times. Once when I lost my dad, a couple of times where I've nearly been hit by a car. I've always walked out in front of a car and I've gone, oh my God, that was millimeters away from being killed there. And then you get that awareness for a couple of days. And if you're not careful, it kind of fades. So you keep reminding yourself that we're not here for a long time. And the things you're worrying about now, ask yourself the 5 to 5 rule, we call it. If the thing you're worrying about now will not matter in 5 years' time, don't let yourself worry about it for more than 5 minutes. Just don't. It's pointless. It's utterly pointless. Good time, not a long time, says Fanny. Hopefully both I aim for. You know, I want to get to 100, Fanny, fingers crossed. But yeah, I just hope that, I mean, it's a bit of a recap tonight. I've covered, you know, kind of like, you know, how important it is to surround yourself with the right people in the past. But it was just speaking to Lewis on Friday and seeing him nail that point home to me again about how he's had his success in directing because of the people he's surrounding himself with. And I came away from that meeting with him and meeting all those amazing people that day in that building so fired up. It was great, and I was like, you know what, I need to speak to everyone on the scope about this to make sure that you're giving yourself the opportunity to be fired up on a regular basis, to, you know, go and have a coffee once a week with your group of 5 who are the relentless workers, who are the dreamers, you know, who do ask quality questions. So yeah, have a think about it, you know, and let me know who your 5 are. Tweet me at Ross A. Grant, tweet me at ActOnThisTV. If you're watching this on the replay, because like I say, a lot of people catch these up on the replays, and I didn't know how many people were watching the replays of these on YouTube. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I know it's not possible for everyone to join me live all the time, but like I say, I've received some really lovely emails recently from people who have been watching the replays and just wanted to reach out and say that they were really, you know, helping them. So massively appreciate that. A girl called Louise emailed me this week, so big shout out to you, Louise. Appreciate you for watching. And I'll be back on Wednesday, guys, with this book. Finally got the paperback. We don't have to read the Kindle like we did in the first one. It's Robert Duff's book, Hardcore Self-Help, Fuck Anxiety. Watch the last couple on replay, says Gary. Nice one, Gary. Keep that coming. And we're going to be looking at another couple of chapters of this book on anxiety, what it is from a science perspective, how you can keep a hold of it when you're having a bit of an anxious period, or, you know, a panic attack, effectively. How you can keep a lid on it, how you can understand it. I think the key to anxiety from me reading this book is really understanding actually what is going on in your body chemically when you're feeling like that, because when you know what processes your body are going through and ultimately how your body is reacting to 2 hormones, adrenaline and cortisol. It's all it is, 2 little piddly chemicals in your body. That's all it is. 2 of them can make you feel like your world is going to end, right? And when you know, actually, wait a minute, why am I allowing 2 little chemicals in my body to have such a big effect on me? I understand what they're doing. I understand which part of the brain they're lighting up right now, my amygdala, the alarm system in my brain. You can get more of a control on it. Can you get on Google Books, Ross, says Scoobs. I don't know, Scooby, is the answer to that. You can get it on Kindle, because I've got it on Kindle. This paperback was available on Amazon for about £6 English. On Kindle, it was about £2. So you can get Kindle Reader for nearly every device out there now, whether you've got a PC, a Mac, an iPad, an iPod, an iPhone, an Android. YouTube, says Fanny. You can get the audio of it on YouTube then, Fanny says. So yeah, search for Robert Duff, PhD, on hardcore self-help. He does a few hardcore self-help books, not just on anxiety but on other things as well. So check it out on YouTube. And if you've got anything, Fanny, that you think's cool, don't post it all, right? But post a video, just one, in the Facebook group with a link to where people can find others. If that'll probably be helpful for people, because it's not something I've looked at yet. I've not had time to troll YouTube for it yet, but we'll have a look. So yeah, join me 9 PM Wednesday night UK time. Miss Gypsy and Tony and everyone in America, whatever time that will be for you. Our clocks in the UK go back an hour at the end of this month as well, so we'll make sure we keep you American lot up to date, because otherwise you'll be joining us, well, we'll be joining us at 9, and then it'll actually only be 8. I don't know if you'll be early or late, so that's too much for my little mind. But yeah, we'll make sure you join at the right time. And yeah, I hope, you know, people get a lot out of this, and a lot out of the book club on Wednesday as well. So that's it, guys. I'm gonna get myself to bed. It's 5 to 10, up early tomorrow, smash the gym out, and go and attack the day, hopefully with quality people. So have a think about the quality people in your life. Do you need more of them? Have you got enough of them? You know, maybe you are the quality people, the quality person to the people in your circle, but you need to find other people to charge you up. So have a think about that. Mary's here. Good evening, Mary. If you just joined us, watch the replay. You can watch the replay right now on Periscope, or from tomorrow, actonthis.tv. You'll be able to watch the replay on YouTube, and also download a PDF copy of these slides. PDF copy, not coffee. I've got a coffee. PDF copy of these slides directly under this video. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, on the website actonthis.tv, the copy of those slides will be underneath this video. You can click and download them for free, so you can have a little read of them. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate you. Let me know what you're up to. Like I say, tweet me, keep me posted. Come join the Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/actonthistv, and I will catch up with you on Wednesday, 9 PM. Until then, go and smash it. Bye for now.